All right, today we're going to dive into what is, without a doubt, one of the most recited texts on the entire planet, Al-Faatiha. It's the opening chapter of the Quran. Billions of people say it, multiple times, every single day. But what if it's way more than just a prayer? We're going to break down how it's actually a profound, personal covenant.
So let's just start with this big question. What if this whole thing, this prayer, isn't a monologue where you just talk at God? What if it's a dynamic, back-and-forth dialogue with God? That's the lens we're going to use to really unpack the structure and the incredible depth of Al-Faatiha.
So first up, we have to understand its role as the universe's opening statement. I mean, think about that. This isn't just chapter 1 of a book. It's the foundational worldview of Islam. It's the lens through which everything else that follows is supposed to be understood.
And the name itself, Al-Faatiha, literally just means the opening. And that's exactly what it is. It's the cornerstone, recited in every single unit of the daily prayers. The whole idea here is that a believer is meant to start pretty much every action by consciously connecting it back to God. And this chapter, well, it provides the perfect blueprint for making that connection.
Now, in any conversation that matters, the very first step is to know who you're talking to, right? So it makes perfect sense that the opening verses of Al-Faatiha are all about establishing the attributes of the divine being that you're addressing.
Let's just look at how these attributes build on each other. It kicks off with mercy. Ar-Rahman. This is a vast, universal mercy for everything and everyone. Then it gets more specific, more personal, with Ar-Rahim, a special, more intimate compassion reserved for believers. Then you have Rabb al-Alameen, which defines God's role as the sustainer of all the worlds. And finally, Malik Yawm ad-Din, master of the Day of Judgment, which brings in this crucial element of accountability. So right from the get-go, you're addressing a being of both incredible mercy and absolute authority.
And what this does is it builds this brilliant psychological framework. Acknowledging God's overwhelming mercy is there to stop a believer from ever falling into despair. But at the exact same time, remembering the coming judgment is there to stop you from becoming arrogant. It's this perfect balance between hope and responsibility that shapes the entire mindset.
So once you understand who you're speaking to, the whole thing builds to the absolute centerpiece of the chapter. The tone makes this dramatic shift from praise to a direct personal pledge. This right here is the heart of the conversation.
And this verse, this is the pivot point. The whole surah hinges on this. This is the declaration of Tawheed, or pure, unadulterated monotheism. It's a two-part pledge, and it's so powerful. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. It's a statement of both total devotion and complete reliance, all in one.
But what do we really mean by worship here? Because it's so much bigger than just prayer or rituals. We're talking about total obedience, making divine guidance the source code for your ethics, making conscious life choices based on that. It means no intermediaries between you and God. And this leads to this really amazing paradox, that true, ultimate freedom is only found in servitude to the one Creator.
All right, so you've established who God is, you've made this huge core commitment. So what's next? The conversation moves to its final part, the request. After everything that's been said, there is one single, overwhelmingly important thing that the believer asks for.
And that one request is for guidance. Think about that. Even after declaring your faith, even after pledging exclusive worship, your number one need is to constantly ask to be shown and to be kept on the straight path. This really implies that faith isn't some one-time thing. It's a continuous journey that requires constant course correction.
So what exactly is this straight path? Well, this table does a great job of explaining it by showing us what it isn't. It's not a path based on your own whims or emotional desires. It's not about chasing the latest cultural trends, and it's definitely not about blind imitation. No, the straight path is defined as God's revealed guidance, a path that demands both knowledge and action, belief and character, all working together in harmony.
And to make this crystal clear, the chapter finishes by defining the straight path by who walks on it and who doesn't. You ask for the path of the favored ones, those who combine their knowledge with real action, and who ask not to be on the path of two other groups, those who earned anger because they had the knowledge but just refused to act on it, and those who went astray because they were acting with sincerity but without the right knowledge to begin with. The key takeaway is just how inseparable knowledge and action really are.
Okay, so let's pull all these pieces together. What is the ultimate point of this daily, repeated conversation? Well, it's all about cementing a lifelong covenant.
This whole chapter is a journey in miniature. It starts with acknowledgement. You know who God is. It moves to a personal commitment. You pledge your exclusive worship and reliance. And it finishes with a humble request, asking for the guidance you need to actually live up to that commitment. It's this complete cycle that you consciously renew every single day.
And this, right here, is the core message. Reciting Al-Faatiha isn't meant to be some mindless ritual you just rush through. It's a conscious, active renewal of your personal contract with God, reaffirming who you are, what you truly believe, and the path you're asking to walk, day after day after day.